Good morning, Eric Orris at Fudo Forge. So we're just going to do a little bit of sharpening today on the benchstone. Pretty simple and straightforward. We're not going to get into detailed, crazy techniques, just basic sharpening. As you can see, this is one of the knives from my own kitchen that I made years ago, and you can see a little bit of shine. It's getting kind of dull now, as this knife's a little bit dull. And this whole premise is basically on just learning to program your body to maintain that bevel as it slides across the stone. And we're using a Japanese whetstone here, a water stone, so I've soaked them already. Some of them do not require soaking, these particular ones do. We want to keep the top surface of that stone wet as we do this. There are many different methods for doing this. You can go right-handed and left-handed, which you're going to see here first, where I do it with my right hand as the main hand and my left supporting. You can see the shine now on that micro bevel, and I'm going to switch to the other hand, do the other side. We can sharpen these knives back and forth as you see me doing now. Again, maintaining the wetness on top of your stone. We can use many other methods, but we're not Kevin Costner, Whitney Houston, and Bodyguard trying to cut a falling silk scarf on a sword. We're trying to make a good working edge for a kitchen knife here. And so what I'm on now is 1,000 grit stone, keeping it wet, keeping the debris clear, and we're just going to continue to work this blade back and forth, polishing that edge up. It's a pretty simple premise, really, and it doesn't require a lot of thought. It just requires a little bit of built-in neurosynapses program, or muscle memory, if you will. So we just repeat, and you'll see me wipe off here. I'm just touching the edge the most gentle I possibly can, just because of curiosity for whether or not I still have a burr, whether it's been removed. Got a little debris, so I'm just wiping off my stone now. And we're going to go ahead and wet it back up, and we'll move on to the next blade. Again, we're going through everything on 1,000 grit here. There are different ways to do this. You can sharpen always with the pulling motion or with the pushing motion. You can sharpen and polish in circles when you're wetting a knife. None of them are specifically wrong. Again, there are a lot of things you can create with that. You can figure out. You can see right now I'm just very carefully feeling for that first burr that you'll feel when it comes up when you polish that side. And once you have that burr the whole way along the edge, it's time to switch sides. So there's a lot of different ways to come about this. There are some advanced techniques that can create a lot of really crazy things. Super performance, ways we sharpen razors for cutting hair, the ways we sharpen razors for other things, the way we sharpen a sword, different bevel types and stuff, but this is just a simple working edge on a kitchen knife. Works on your hunting knife too. And you'll find 1,000 grit is generally more than ample to do this. And now you can see nice shine on both sides. And that was my wife's knife. These knives have been in my kitchen for years. So if you ever wonder about how well a carbon knife holds up, if you just take basic care of it, you can see they're absolutely still gorgeous. They have that living patina and look to them. So another little chef we're doing. This is a 7, my wife's earlier knives. And again, I'm just going to wet the one side over and over again, up and down the stone, my preferred method for a working edge. And then I'm going to switch once that whole burr is acquired, do the other side. You'll note I didn't check for the burr this time. That's because I know it's there. I've been doing this a very long time. All you have to do is just feel real gently across the side of that edge, not over the sharp part, but up towards the edge, and you'll feel that burr build up. So now we've got both sides, good burr. Very gentle touch to see if I have a dead spot, and I don't. Pretty straightforward again. These knives were all sharp in the kitchen, and have just become dull from use, so I just started right on 1,000. No real need to go back to 600 or 400 or anything like that. We're not establishing an edge. We're just holding the knife back up so it's a good working edge again, and it's sharp. Here you'll see we're doing the right-handed only method, and it's a back and forth still, and all we do with this is just flip the blade and just come at it from a different angle, basically. Whatever makes you comfortable. The most important thing here is just not to get cut. 1,000 grit stone doesn't actually wear your skin very much. It's pretty soft and gentle. It just works on steel because it's hard. So just, safety from the knife is important. Now, this one I'm going to wet up again, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to go one direction only. We're going to just pull, push, pull, push, pull, push. And then you can see now we're going to switch to just that pushing motion. I'm picking it up in between these drives, just barely. and it's just a repeatable thing. And that's similar to the razor blade sharpening you do there. But again, any of these methods will work fine for you for establishing a good quality working edge if your intent is not to make some crazy fancy edge for some goof off. I mean, this is where I like an edge to be by the time we're done for working on meats and vegetables that are mixed. Stones. So let's talk about stones while I continue to sharpen. You'll see a couple different methods, and you'll see the circular here in a little bit. This is all push now, where the knife is traveling away from its cutting edge. So again, I'm working on nanny water stones here, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, Belgian blues are great. You can use Kodaklees if you'd like. The Arkansas stones do a great job. There's all the diamond stones and everything out from Shapton. They all work really great. It's just a matter of what you like to work with. I do have a lot of natural stones too, the old Japanese ones, and I love them. Here you see some circle method, by the way, just kind of usually used on a hockey puck, like a Boy Scout knife kind of technique, but just doing it quickly on the benchstone so you can see that it does in fact work, and about how it's used. But yeah, so all the stones work really well. It's what we like to work with. I really like water stones because they cut nicely, they wear nicely, they're easy to flatten, and as much as I sharpen knives, of course starting from much coarser grits when they're brand new because they haven't had an edge established yet, I like the fact that they're not using up a non-renewable resource. I mean, they're manufactured in Japan from ceramics and glues and put together into a block. This isn't a natural stone that comes out of the earth. I try to save those just for special jobs. They're getting old and hard to come by now. I also like how aggressive they are compared to some others. Here's an Aotoshi. This is 2000 grit now. It's a big Japanese block of water stone. Dry my hands. We're going to throw out that old rag when we switch grits. Every time we get rid of that paper towel, we don't want to pollute the new one with the old coarser grit, so we get a new towel to wipe knives with. And you'll see me continue on the Aotoshi. This stone's a little thirsty, so you'll see me water it quite a bit. As you get into finer grits, the thing that happens with water stones is they get very soft, so you have to get really good at controlling your angle because you can very easily cut your stone, make big gouges in it. And 2000 is quite a bit of an edge. I mean, it's a really nice edge. It will shave hair. It's not a comfortable shaving edge to shave your face with or other body parts, but it will shave hair, no problem. So will 1000 if you do it right. Just kind of coarse and rough. But we go through, and I do all these on the 2000 as well, but we're going to cut this a little bit short and just run the 2000 as it is. Again, it's just muscle memory. And once you get good at it, you can do it quite fast and get through it really quickly. If the angle's right, it'll go fast, especially if you sharpen early and often instead of whenever you're completely dull. So one thing I like to finish up is a little bit of stropping. I just use a Russian leather strop, but any strop will work. You can use the ones on the blocks if you want. They're a little slower in my opinion, but that's probably not an issue for someone sharpening a couple knives themselves. When I'm doing like 15 or 16, it really kind of stands out to me. And all this is a leather strap attached to a joist on the wall, and it's got a little bit of micron, I think it's 0.5 micron compound on it that gets wore in. It's so dark right now because I just refreshed it. It'll go back to pure brown looking leather before I refresh it again. It'll last a very long time. This isn't a necessary step. I just like the little bit of polish it gives. I like that it removes any of the burr that's there that might be creating false edge. And honestly, it's kind of cathartic for me to do whenever I'm at the end of a long build of a bunch of knives, to just sit down and sharpen for a little while inside in the heat, especially in the winter or in the air conditioning when it's summertime. So again, we just rinse and repeat it. We're just polishing this edge back and forth. This always goes away from the edge on a strop, or you will cut into your leather or cut yourself. So we're dragging that blade spine first away from the edge. I'm going to slow it down here in just a little bit and you'll be able to see it. So here we go. Switching sides, and we're going back and forth on the linen. Again, unnecessary for the whole knife, but it's just a nice little touch if you like to strop. It's something that I like to do. I like the way it finishes. And there we go, slow, so you can see that movement. Now we're moving away from the edge. We're keeping our fingers clear, and we're working either one section of the knife at a time, or we're moving the knife laterally as we slide it along the strop to kind of smooth it up. Anyway, you'll see me cut some paper with it here in a second, and I really appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching my videos, and thanks for the follows and such. I hope this is informative and helpful. Please feel free to reach out with any extra questions you have. Bad start. Any extra questions you have or anything at all. I appreciate it. Thank you. Take care.